It says I'm live. Are you guys live? It's just like sitting down for the first set of the night in a jazz club. You get that feeling with all the people. I get that feeling by looking at the chat box here. Are you guys live? I wonder what happens if I turn that down. Let me do a quick sound check here. Just let me know if you can hear the piano. Little Nat King Cole. Hey guys. Sound okay? All right, just making sure because Monday we went to go play and I didn't have the right audio plug-in on the computer selected, and so now I'm checking to make sure. Cool. Thanks for coming tonight. Thanks for being a part of this exclusive membership thing. I never imagined myself creating that, needing to create that, wanting to create that, needing to have this community of people. And it's turned out to be much more needed, much more spiritual and soulful and cathartic and mutual and symbiotic and all of those things than I ever thought it would be. And so I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here, for supporting, for showing your interest in not only me, but my cohorts who I bring in. And as restrictions and stuff ease, I'll probably be doing more of these and bringing in different people who live in Harlem who can walk over. And, it's going to develop, and we'll see how it develops together. And I love the feedback and appreciate what everyone's been contributing and saying and emailing, and been sending a lot of emails lately. But definitely choose some days and some weeks to really sit at the piano, and haven't gotten a chance to spend this much time at the piano consistently like this in a very long time. It reminds me of being in, actually it doesn't even remind me, it reminds me of being in college actually, where I had a chance to really spend 4 hours a night. I would sit in the practice room for 4 hours, basically from 8 o'clock to midnight till the building closed. And it was the first time I really ever got to practice on a grand piano because I grew up with a upright in my house. And there was something about getting a sound out of the piano that was so much different on the grand piano than the upright. And I spent hours and hours and hours just trying to search for that sound. And it makes me remember, harken back to those days where I'm sitting at the piano and like, what kind of sound can I get out of this thing? And it's even different now that I'm teaching lessons, and I can really focus on the things that I tell the students and say, am I doing that? No. Am I practicing like that? Am I being consistent like that? Am I warming up like this? Am I exploring this? Did I write anything today? And so it's been a musical blessing in disguise to have just some time off the road and to be able to sit and just think about the music. So often on the road we just go, travel, gig, wake up at 4 a.m., airport, get on the plane, maybe a brief sound check, but everyone's tired. And it's been this really cool thing to just take a step back from that for a moment, just for contrast's sake. Obviously, aside from all the horrendous stuff that's going on in the world, that's the personal musical relationship that I'm dealing with. So I just figured I'd talk a little bit, like we're having a little conversation while people are still joining and figuring out if the link works and figuring out what is going on. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to play some tunes. I'm feeling very much like this tempo tonight. I always think about tempos as like kind of sways or dances or feelings, not necessarily like 1, 2, 3, 4, or not necessarily like 150 BPM or beats per minute for those of you non-music people out there, but more like just the flow and the movement. So let's see what we got. You all know that one. They can't take that away from me, and I feel like they certainly can't take the music away from us. They can take everything else away. They can't take the music. Let's see. Everything good? I'm just doing a quick check-in here. Piano, hey everybody. I'm reading your comments. Thanks for the birthday wishes, everyone. You guys are sweet. It was a very lovely time. And I received 3 cakes in the mail, and all of you are so sweet. I need to exercise, that's for sure. Yes. Let's see. Cam, you wanted to know if Jimmy Cobb was with me with Christian McBride. He wasn't with me that time. I don't think we played with drums in that band with Christian McBride. It's just guitar, Dan Wilson, me on piano, of course, and Christian McBride on bass. Just to clear that up. Anyway, just wanted to make sure everything is good. I'm going to go turn the screen off. I've been doing this thing where I turn the screen black so I don't get sucked into the screen. And then come back. Yeah. Jerome Kern. All the things you are. Thank you, guys. Woo! You know, it's starting to get hot in New York City. Just took a shower, and I'm definitely sweating through my shirt already. Not like Kyle, for those of you who've seen, but still. It's AC season already. Go straight from spring to from winter to summer. There's no spring at all. Wow. Okay. Thank you guys for tuning in. I like that question. What AJ asked me about playing solo versus trio, and for me, the answer is yes or no. I do have air conditioning on, but it's not working very well yet. Maybe it needs to get warmed up. But the difference between the solo and the trio, for me, is just the function of the music, in that you have so many ideas floating around with the trio, so many choices to make within the restrictions of other people. So it's like the difference between a soliloquy and a scene where you're talking with other people. You're going to feed off of those people in the scene. You're going to feed off their emotions, what they give you, what they don't give you, how to inspire them. And so those are all the things we think about when I'm sitting here with the trio. It's like, wow, I really have to listen to every single thing they're doing and react to it, or choose not to react to it. And that's something we always teach is, especially to students, it's all about choices. Life's all about choices, and especially jazz, playing jazz is all about choices. You know, I could do an infinite amount of things to get into a song, to get out of a song. On that last song, you know, I was debating what to do, and I decided maybe it would be cool just let it expire like this. And maybe there's no maybe there's no ending on that. You know, maybe that is the ending. Maybe I could have gone into a whole fantasy and a whole thing. Maybe I could have started a new song. You know, there's infinite amount of things that you can do. So I think to make decisions by yourself, or to make decisions within the umbrella, or under the umbrella of a trio or more people. You know, duo, you can be a little more free and make choices back and forth. Trio, you can be a little more free than a quartet or a quintet. You know, when you're playing with a big band, everyone's got to have music in front of them mostly for it to work. So that's how I feel solo versus trio. But one thing that's funny you asked that I had been thinking about is that I haven't really had the opportunity to play this much solo and this much trio in equal setting. And for me, it's fun to kind of take the songs that we do trio and try to give them a treatment solo and see what that feels like for me. And then also vice versa, if I play something solo, and then to bring that with the trio. And so maybe you guys see some of the overlap. And the energy is supposed to be different. You know, the energy is always going to be different with one person. You know, the energy is different in a golf match than it is in a basketball game. You know, there's one person versus 10 people on the court. And I think that's just the nature of what it is. But I think the contrast is what makes it really cool and really interesting. So I'm going to actually, since you said that, I'm going to play something that I've worked on last week. It's an old standard called Thanks for the Memory. I did it with the trio, but I'm going to try a little solo rendition of it. And maybe that can kind of be the answer to your question. It's nice outside, so I'm letting some of the air in, Paul. in the style of Fats and Teddy Wilson, that is, Fats Waller, that is, and maybe that answers your question about the difference between the trio and the solo. For those of you who watched on Monday, that is kind of the difference between taking a song and putting it in the trio and the solo. It can be the same. It could be completely different. I have a lot of freedom also by myself that doesn't always come with working within the framework of a language. I can make up whatever I want. I can do a little free improvisation if I want. Well, I guess we could do that as a trio. Maybe we should try it. Thanks, guys. It's funny. You asked me about the lyrics. I'm like right at home. I'm gonna sit in my yogi pose. Here's the real yogi pose for those of you who want to know. They're called the log pose. That's funny. You asked that, Janine. She asked if I feel the lyrics or hear the lyrics in my head, and sometimes I do. But I feel like, especially for songs that I play a lot with singers, sometimes specific singers singing the song will come to mind. So for those of you who know me well, I play a lot with a singer named Veronica Swift, and she's a dear friend, and we've been playing together for years, and she's getting a lot of recognition now and everything. And she always sings that song, September in the Rain. So when I play it, not that I play it that much. I mean, I kind of use these opportunities to go through some repertoire that maybe I haven't ever played before solo piano, or maybe that I haven't played in a long time, or that I think I haven't played in a long time. I feel like I played Here's That Rainy Day. But maybe I played that in a private concert, but I don't think I've ever played it before someone requested it at a donor event in Grand Rapids, Michigan, I think. And someone asked me to play it, and I'm like, well, I never played that before, and I tried to play it, and it came out nice. And so now sometimes I think about playing it when I play solo. But anyway, I digress. Veronica's lyrics and treatment of the song flow through me when I think about that song, September in the Rain, sometimes. Also, Roy Hargrove, the late Roy Hargrove, a hero and mentor to so many jazz musicians. He has a big band version of that and sings it, which is also another version that goes through my head. And he does this thing at the end where he tags it, and he's like, spoo-doo-doo-dip. And then the audience answers, spoo-ba-doo-dip, spoo-doo-be-da-bop, spoo-doo-be-da-bop, spoo-ba-doo-dip, spoo-doo-dip, spoo-doo-dee, spoo-doo-dee. And he does this thing at the end. So sometimes also those other melodic vocal things come through, whether or not they're lyrics or they are, just kind of these stock things that come with the tunes. As you learn them and as you play them with different people, everyone has their own take. So a song like that a lot of people play. Yeah, the song I played before September in the Rain was Here's That Rainy Day. Is that what it's called? That's what it's called. Here's That Rainy Day. Yeah. And that's sorry, I looked at the screen and got distracted from what I was saying. Anyway, I know what I was saying. When you play a song and it picks up new character with every new person you play with. So I'll play a song with Christian McBride. I play the same song with Veronica Swift. I play the same song with someone like Jimmy Cobb, and it really feeds you all these new ideas and all these new spiritual elements through the song. So, it's funny. I'm reading this thread that Janine, you said you have never heard you play Round Midnight, which is probably our favorite song. When we played it on at least 3 of the live streams so far, I recorded it on Dirty in Detroit, and it's the one song that I played with all of the jazz masters, with George Coleman and Jimmy Cobb and Jimmy Heath and Benny Golson and Tootie Heath and Ron Carter, and they all play Round Midnight, and they all have their own thing on Round Midnight, and I think that's the most kind of quintessential song that kind of you gain a piece of somebody when you play the song with them and they know the song really well. You get a part of that spiritual connection to Thelonious Monk, to Duke Ellington, to all the people that were around that song. And the standards are like that too, and they're even like that in a different way, where you connect to when I play a song from a musical, sometimes I connect with that musical, and I feel the musical theater version of that song, especially if I've seen the show. And so I think that, to answer the question, the lyrics flow through you, but also the spirits flow through you as you move through and experience the music in many different ways. And I think that happens as a listener too. I'll be listening to music and I'll hear someone do a song a certain way, and then that will unlock something that I can hear in another person's version. They were doing a tribute. A friend of mine was doing a listening session on Facebook Live, tribute to Jimmy Cobb, and they played this version of "All of You" by Cole Porter, which Miles would play the same repertoire every single night, and develop that repertoire, and he did that for 20 years with his first great quintet, and then his second great quintet, which is how kind of historians will talk about it. The first one being Philly Joe Jones, Paul Chambers, and Philly Joe Jones on drums, Paul Chambers on bass, and Red Garland on piano. Later, Wynton Kelly and Jimmy Cobb on piano. Wynton Kelly on piano and Jimmy Cobb on drums. And Jimmy Cobb is obviously a mentor to me and a teacher, and they played this "All of You" track, which Miles played with his first great quintet, which was the combination of those people, and he also played it later with Herbie Hancock and Tony Williams and Wayne Shorter. It's a little history lesson, maybe some of you know this, but it's kind of like the most B flat thing. You'll tell, I'll tell students that, they, or anybody who wants to know about jazz, they gotta know about Miles's bands, and he always played the same song, and he played "All of You," and John Coltrane, called Train, took maybe like a 7-minute solo on this particular version, and Jimmy Cobb on drums, and they do this thing where they play around the tag, which means that they take the end of the song in a little bit of a circle and develop on that, which is something that Ahmad Jamal did and that Miles Davis kind of took from him, and that particular solo, Drain played the outest stuff and playing all this kind of like just primal, tribal, African rhythms and pentatonic Chinese and Indian melodic substances. Train drew a lot from other cultures and brought that into jazz, and so right at the end of all that crazy stuff, he just said do 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 do, which is like a song called "Isn't That Romantic?" Isn't it romantic? And I just thought it was so just fitting that you can just stick a song's lyric in there like that. And my friend Evan Sherman brought that to my attention, actually, that he did that, and we listened to that together. And just listening to Jimmy Cobb made me think of that. And you can do little things like that within the music, within jazz, and it all goes back to the lyric, is what I'm trying to say. So all that to say, the lyric is so important. The lyric, it tells you everything, and the lyric can be used in a lot of different ways. it romantic? Isn't it romantic? Sometimes it just reminds you that. I was asked by a friend in the neighborhood. We did this video last week for the Louis Armstrong Foundation, and they asked us to make kind of a jazz for young people, which is something we do a lot, educational. And they did a whole skit. We had these lines. We were reading it. The trio was doing kind of a remote video. They're going to lay other people over it. And one of the things that they asked us to do after we recorded the video on another day, they said, will you come out in the park and do kind of like a second line New Orleans, just New Orleans-ish thing. So some musicians got together. I have a little video of it. It's actually hilarious. That I thought it would be an awesome idea to like stream us doing like a second line all through the neighborhood on Monday night, and then bring the trio up to start one of the Monday night concerts. I don't think that's possible, just because it's hard to stream unless you're connected to like a internet router. So that it might be too hard to do, but it might be cool to like take a video of it and then screen it right before like we're coming out. So that's an idea I had. But anyway, someone asked about some New Orleans thing. It was totally New Orleans style stuff that we were doing in the park, and all these people were kind of scattered all over the park and over here in Harlem, and just loving the music, and just to see what the New Orleans spirit, what the Louis Armstrong spirit, what all that can do to people, to community, people who haven't heard live music in a while, which was really cool. So anyone that lives in Harlem, come check us out on the next on the next one of those things. But someone asked about some New Orleans music, so maybe I'll play one of the things we played out there. This is a little Bourbon Street Parade. There you go. A little New Orleans flavor. We were out in the street yesterday playing that, doing that, marching. And you're welcome, Tom. And yeah, got me in the mood. One of my great friends, trumpeters Alfonso Horn, he kind of was leading the processional, and I was out there actually playing melodica. I don't know if any of you know what that is, but it's like that little thing that Jonathan Baptiste plays. It's like you blow into it, and they got the keys called a harmonium or a melodica or a pianica. A couple different names for it, but we borrowed one from somebody, but it made me want to get one. So maybe I'll be out in the street doing some of that. But I think it would be cool to start one of our Monday night videos with kind of like a street thing with a bunch of musicians in Harlem, 6 feet apart, of course. So it was like a little fun thing. New Orleans music is always kind of this great equalizer between people who don't know anything about jazz, people who love jazz, people who are from, different parts of the world. There's so many different cultures and influences in that music. But that was Bourbon Street Parade. Let's see. Little Duke Ellington. Thank you very much. That's one of my favorites, one of everyone's favorites, I think. Who knows it? Sophisticated Lady, dedicated to all of you sophisticated ladies out there, including my mother, who's probably watching, since I know she's not out doing anything else. Yeah, thank you. I'm reading some of these comments. Someone wants to know if I play any other instruments. Yeah, I mean, I play a little bit of everything. Play a little bit of bass. Different woodwind instruments, clarinet, saxophone. But I probably wouldn't perform on any of them at this point. I would go down to the subway, Tom, and play a little bit. Batiste got his start doing those love riots in the subways. Let's see. I'm glad he liked the night out, Rob Gibson. So I'm going to play one more tune. Oh, you want to know what books are under the piano? I got one Chopin and one Mozart. Yeah. And every once in a while I'll pull them out. But these days I have... Don't forget that you play the B natural. Wayne retracted his message, but I saw it first. I'm going to play one more tune for you tonight, and this is something I've been working on for like 6 weeks. And the B3, not the B natural. I hear you, Wayne. Yes, I do play Hammond B3, but not here in this apartment in Harlem, or else I think that would be it. So I'm going to play something that I've been working on for the past 6 weeks or so, and I guess this is always a work in progress. I haven't played this for anybody yet, and I'm laughing at Sally saying you guys are nosy. It's okay. You're in my living room. You're allowed to be nosy. I invited you here, so you can ask what these things are and what's under my books and why there's a disco ball over there and whose painting that is and who bought me those pillows and yeah, I'll answer most of those things. But I am going to play something by James P. Johnson, and this is a work in progress, but it's not going to get any better unless I play it for you. And this is called Carolina Shout, probably the staple stride piece that I always wanted to learn and never really had the time. And I'm going to give it a little shot right now. This is primarily in the style of James P. Johnson right now, and over the next coming weeks, I will be probably figuring out how to get this into a trio context, which is something I really love to do and have found some sense of innovation with, is finding these pieces of music that belong in solo piano formats mostly, or people know them mostly, and putting them in a trio circumstance. And so I'm going to do James P. Johnson's Carolina Shout, and this is the first edition. So we'll see. God, how many times do I play a song before it's committed to memory? Some songs you play 3 times and you know them forever. It depends how you learn it too. If you learn it off the page, you're more likely to forget it. If you learn it by ear, you're more likely to remember it. If you learn it by someone teaching it to you, it sticks. I remember like a lot of instances where someone taught me tunes and I can really remember them just as they were taught to me. But it depends whether, this is a stride piece with many strains, and so it's different than a piece that's constructed in a normal manner. This is something I can talk about a little at length another time, song structures and stuff like that. But this song is not a traditional standard. It's a stride piece, so it's constructed more like how you would think of like maybe a sonata or something like that, where it has different sections to it. Sectional music. That is the Carolina Shout. Thank you guys so much for listening tonight. Oh man, it feels good. It feels good. I feel bad for my neighbors. They're really getting to know that one well. That's James P., the Carolina Shout. So, during the quarantine and all that stuff, I'm really looking to expand that stride repertoire and get to all those various pieces, the Fat Swallow, the James P. Johnson, the Willie the Lion Smith, and all that stuff. So that's a product of that. I'm so glad you guys liked it. Thank you so much. Thanks, Kim. I really appreciate you guys, taking the time to engage in what I've been doing over the past number of weeks. Like I said, this is really symbiotic. I'm so grateful to have you guys listening. I'm so grateful to have such gracious supporters, people that you all and your associates are the people that are keeping us afloat in this time. And without you, I don't know what there would be or what there wouldn't be, but it would be different times for sure. And you guys have inspired me so much to practice. You've inspired me so much to put together, a recording studio in my home with all of these microphones and mixers and laptop software and everything like that. it's been just amazing to get a chance to explore all that for people who really care. So I know my parents are watching, but I'm not talking about you guys. You guys love me no matter what. No, huge shout out to my parents, my mom and dad. They always listen, and they're trapped at home, and they wanted to be traveling in Europe. And I was supposed to be in Paris playing on my 30th birthday. I just said 21st birthday. Really wishing for the old days, I guess. My 30th birthday, for those of you who don't know, was on Monday, and I was supposed to be playing in Paris, and my parents were supposed to be in Europe, and it was supposed to be different than it was. And I don't feel sad. I don't feel like we're missing anything. I feel like wherever you are in the world, in your life, wherever you are, you kind of invent a reality for yourself, and this is our reality. And I don't know that it would have been any more happy anywhere else, or any less happy or worse off anywhere else. I think that wherever you are, you have the ability to find that joy inside, around, on the internet, through books, through whatever it is, through meditation, through thinking, through breathing, through all of that stuff. And that's just a reminder to all those of you who are stuck inside the house and feel like you're stuck. You still have the world at your fingertips, in your mind. And that's one of the things that I think about every day when I touch the piano and practice, and try to improve at the things that are in here and in here, which include yoga and reading and practicing and writing and whatever it is for you. Those are the things for me. Okay, and cooking even. I'm learning how to cook a little bit now too, which I've never had to do before. So, yeah, thank you so much. And I can't let y'all go without a little blues. So. I'd like to dedicate this one to everybody in Minneapolis, everyone in the world mourning George Floyd, everyone who is in a worse off position than those of us who are privileged, and those of us who have everything we need, because some people do not. Some people aren't able to live their lives like everyone else. And this blues is dedicated to all of that, to having the conversations that are difficult, to really being there for our brothers and sisters who need us most, and protecting them, and continuing to, over the course of many, many years, hoping and improving and protesting and searching for better times. Appreciate you all so much. Love you to death. Thanks for your support. Thanks for everything. Tell some friends if you can. Tell them to listen to this music. Tell them to check us out. Hope to see you on Monday right here. I think in a couple of weeks when regulations relax, we might start to see some special guests. So I've been talking to Veronica Swift, so we may see her in the next couple of weeks. So definitely keep your eye out for that one. And maybe we'll do a little private thing with her as well. Anyway, I love you all. Thank you so much for listening. And I will see you at the next one. Stay in touch. And, yeah, be safe. And spread some love. Peace.